At Lawrence Middle School, we are committed to providing a safe and caring environment for our students. We rely on our students, our staff, and our students' families to create a climate where everyone feels safe, comfortable, and accepted. We want our students to love coming to Lawrence Middle School. We strive to promote academic excellence, and our teachers utilize strategies based on current research and the most effective classroom practices, all while recognizing individual differences in learning among our students. Our school encourages academic leadership, character development, and intellectual curiosity. At Lawrence Middle School, we work together to help our students become tomorrow's citizens.
Hello, everybody out there. How are you? Mindy Molaski here. I am the Lawrence Middle School principal, and I'm so excited to bring you Middle School 101. And this is our first orientation that we do for parents regarding curriculum. So hopefully there are some students that are watching, but this is mostly for parents so they have an understanding of what they can expect from Lawrence Middle School for their students. So we're really excited. We will be doing a student orientation as well. That's going to be coming in the next coming weeks, and not necessarily going to be a live presentation, but we're putting something together special because we know that we didn't have a chance to get to LIS this year to do an orientation. So we're going to give you something else. So sit back today, relax a little bit in your home, and thanks so much for joining us. You're going to learn a lot about the middle school. And so the first person that I want to introduce to you tonight is our assistant principal, Mr. Merrill. Hey there, Mr. Merrill, how are you?
Hi, Ms. Molaski, how are you? Doing well.
We're doing okay. Today was our first round of our 8th grade farewell ceremony. And so it was an exciting day. And now we get to talk to all of our rising 7th graders. So it's an exciting time for us.
Yes, very much. Yeah, today was a good day. We had a great turnout. We had staff there helping out, security. It moved along really well. The campus was decorated beautifully, and I think all the 8th graders that came in had a very nice send-off today.
Yeah, it was fun. So we are going to be talking about what parents can expect and what students can expect when they come to the middle school. And so we're going to get started with our PowerPoint a little bit. And just let me tell you a little bit about me. I have been in education. I am finishing my 28th year, and I am proud to say it has all been in Lawrence Township. I started off as a high school teacher here in Lawrence. I was a coach, I was a swim coach, I was a cheerleading coach, I was a class advisor, I was the dean of students. I then became an assistant principal at the high school, then assistant principal here at the middle school, and now the principal. And it has been a fantastic ride. This middle school is phenomenal. I love our staff. I love our kids. This community is fantastic, and that's why I've been here for so long. So why don't you tell them a little bit about you, Mr. Merrill?
Sure. Yeah. So I actually had the pleasure of joining the Lawrence Middle School in mid-November, and it's been obviously quite a ride since then. But in the few short months that I was able to be in the building, it was great to get to know the staff, the students, the school community on somewhat of a level there. It's been disappointing for sure to with everything that's been going on, but definitely excited to meet the next group of students in the fall. And before this job, I was a health and phys ed teacher. That's my background in Cinnaminson Township down in Burlington County for I had started my 12th year. So I was there. This is my first jump into the administrative world, and it's definitely been a learning experience. But it's been great getting to have that experience here at Lawrence Middle School. I'm home right now with my wife. She's in education. She's a second grade special ed teacher. We have 4 young boys at home here in Medford. And so as much as it's been tough to be away from the students, it has been, at least on the other side, enjoyable to have a little bit more bonus family time. And we've been enjoying that time together for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's get to our presentation and a little bit about what you can expect from Lawrence Middle School. So Mrs. Kramer, who is our school librarian, she's going to be helping us tonight, and she's going to be doing the slides in the background. So we appreciate that. And so we want to let you know that what you can expect from us is that we are a caring, student-centered environment. We have an excellent faculty here. We offer a challenging curriculum, which you're going to hear about tonight. And we pride ourselves on open communication. We have lots of ways that you're going to learn tonight how to communicate with us. And we also have social and emotional development. All right, I want to put it out there that I can see the comments that are in YouTube. And I believe some of them are also students. But remember that there are parents that are on tonight that are watching, and we want to use the comment section for questions, not for just private conversations that are happening amongst yourselves. So just know that if you could help us out in the comments of the YouTube, we'd appreciate it. All right, so moving on. Again, those were our expectations. Again, caring student environment. We pride ourselves on those things. Excellent faculty, good communication, a challenging curriculum. And, middle school is about social and emotional development. So you'll see here, things that we try to concentrate on and focus on here at the middle school are self-awareness. We talk about self-management. How do you keep yourself organized? That's a huge piece of middle school. And so you're going to learn that as we move forward when, starting your first day in. So we really stress how to stay organized, and then we will give you those tools and how you can do it on your computer, especially, but also using that agenda book. This will be the time that you'll get an agenda book with lots of information in it and how you can utilize that appropriately. Relationship skills. We're not talking about boyfriend and girlfriend relationships. That's part of it that happens in middle school, but we're talking more about your relationships with staff members here, teachers, relationship with your parents. It's going to change in middle school and their approach with you. Relationships with your friends and keeping good friendships. The other part of it is making good decisions. And all of those things we are going to help you with. We're going to focus on those things when you come to middle school. All right, we can go to the next. There we go. All right, so some facts about the middle school. As you know, it is only grades 7 through 8. We have 600 plus students, and we have 7 periods a day, about 51 minutes. And you will have math, language arts, science, and social studies every single day. You will have world language and your related arts, such as art class, communications, technology, every other day throughout the year. We also have health and phys ed every other day. We have instrumental groups that you're going to hear about tonight. We have choral groups. Those meet every other day. We have a gifted and talented program. We do a lot of team activities. We have 2 school counselors. We have 3 child study team members, a school psychologist, 2 school psychologists, and a social worker. We have academic support instruction. We have ESL programs, special ed programs, and we have a one-to-one initiative with all of our laptops. We also have a mental health therapist here on our staff. And so those are the facts. So you want to learn them, you want to know them. As those of you that are students that are watching, we will quiz you on a lot of these things to see what you know about the middle school when we have our student orientation. We have an instructional house system. And so we have 3 houses, and we have the House of Phoenix, the House of Draco, and the House of Orion. And we have 3 phenomenal house leaders that you will meet prior to coming to Lawrence Middle School. And our Phoenix house leader is Mrs. Bozarth, our Draco house leader is Mrs. Reynolds, and our Orion house leader is Mrs. Strominger. And they lead those houses. One house is not better than the other. All right, so whatever you're hearing, don't listen to it. One house is not better than the other. And one of the great things about having a house system is as soon as you enter this building, you are part of something. But every house is phenomenal. Every house, we offer all of our full program. Course of studies is on every single house. And so don't get discouraged. We do no longer, those of you that have had students that have come through the middle school prior, we do not honor family houses. So if your 10th grader was on the House of Phoenix, or maybe you have a current 8th grader that was on the House of Phoenix, we don't necessarily, your rising 7th grader may not be on the House of Phoenix. We look at your students, we learn a lot about them. We've talked to the LIS administration. I know that Ms. Fisher is on this call tonight, so I'm excited that she's here, and I talk to her all the time. We talk to your school counselors, we talk to your case managers. We want to make sure that the best fit is for you. So we look at you all as individuals, and so that's an important piece of it. So don't be upset in the mail in the summer that you're on a certain house, because every house is amazing. And you got to give it a chance, and you will have a great opportunity here. All right, let's move on, and let's meet some of the people that are on our conversation tonight. And our instructional supervisors, they play a huge role in our program here at the middle school. So I'd like you to meet them, and then each of them is also going to be doing a presentation tonight as well. So first up is Miss Amy Ament, and I know a lot of you know her because she was at LIS. So now she is at Eldridge Park, but she is also our District K-12 music supervisor as well. So Miss Ament, welcome. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Wearing my LMS pride tonight.
We love it. Thanks so much for that. All right, next up is Miss Burke, and I know some of you may know Miss Burke as well. And Miss Burke is the math and science supervisor for K-6, but she's also the technology supervisor K-12. So you get to see her face here. How are you tonight, Miss Burke?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great, and I see that you have your Lawrence pride on as well tonight.
I sure do.
All right, we can't wait to hear from you a little bit later. All right, and then next up is Miss DeReamer, and she is our secondary special ed grades 7 through 12 supervisor. So hello there, Miss DeReamer. How are you tonight?
I am fantastic. How are you? I'm so excited to be here with everybody.
Well, we're glad that you're here, and we can't wait to have you talk with our rising 6th grade parents as we go forward for tonight. All right, we'll come back to you. All right, next up, let's see who we got on. And we have Miss Melanie Filmar. She's actually not with us this evening, but she is the Guidance College and Career Readiness for grades K through 12. So you might already know her And she is the supervisor, again, for guidance and career and college readiness. But she's not on our card tonight. And Miss Maureen Hayes, many of you also may know her, and she is our English, Social Studies, and World Language K-6, but she's also the supervisor for librarians grades K through 12. And I know a lot of you want to meet this person tonight because you're here to learn more about math, and that is Miss Panasowicz. And hi, Miss Panasowicz, how are you?
I'm doing well, Miss Mulaski. I'm coming to you from the subarctic continent of my basement this evening.
Yeah, it's nice to be, here I am in the library of the middle school, but I know that, we're keeping our social distance. So all of you guys are coming from your own homes and you look great. So thanks for being with us. And Miss Panasowicz is K-12 art supervisor, and then she's the 7-12 science and math supervisor. So you'll see lots of her from now until graduation. And then last but not least, I believe we have two more on this call. And yes, there it is, Dr. Pancoast. There she is.
How you doing?
Pancoast wears a lot of hats as well. She is the language arts, social studies, ESL.
World language.
World language. I wasn't going to forget. And world language supervisor, grades 7 through 12. ESL, she's grades K through 12. So we welcome Dr. Pancoast to our show as well. So how are you?
Fantastic.
Awesome. And then last but not least, our athletic director, Greg Zander. And how are you tonight, Greg?
Ms. Pulaski, how you doing? Thanks for having me.
We're excited that you're here because I know that we have a lot of athletes coming to us from LIS and future Cardinal athletes. So we're going to have to train them up so that they're ready to compete on the middle school level. All right, next up. So big thing when you come to the middle school is you got to get up earlier. I know, look at these times. Students have to get up. So you're going to have to, right now, I know you're not doing a pretty good job of that, right? That's probably one of the things that you've decided you're sleeping in. But you will have to get up. School begins at 7:45 a.m. School day ends at 2:45 and early dismissal 12:15. And the building opens around 7:25. And students report to the gymnasium. Now, we don't know what that's going to look like in September. We're waiting to hear. We will make some changes once we know what the regulations are. But as of right now, these are the times. All the information that you're going to get tonight is based on what we do know and what we've done prior, but things can change. So I want you to keep an open mind because right now we just don't know. We haven't gotten some state regulations. We're not sure what next year fully looks like, but we will let you know once we know and we have a plan. And we always have a plan here at the Nation. All right, moving back. So how can you stay connected with us? And this is a huge one. We want to make sure that you can be involved and that you know what's happening. And the biggest place that you're going to learn about grades is Parent Access on Genesis. This is when I usually ask you to raise your hand and tell me if you go on Genesis and you look at grades and you know how to find those grades. But that's an important piece. And we really want to make sure that your information in Genesis is also correct and updated, but that's how you find grades, is in Parent Access. Also, our website is a great source of information. We post lots of things on the LMS website. So again, please make sure that you're checking our website. We usually post everything in that general news section in the center. You can go there now and see lots of things that have been happening in this last marking period, in these last 4 months. We've posted lots of information. You can see some old daily announcement videos there and really learn a lot about the middle school. We will post this program there as well as we are recording this. The other thing is all of our teachers have Google Pages. So they have places where you can go and find information. We also use Google Classroom. And we do a lot of alert now. So you'll get email messages from LMS Nation. You will get phone dialers from us to remind you about things. So make sure that we have accurate information for phone numbers and make sure that we have accurate email addresses so that we can stay connected. And then you can find us on social media on anything, pretty much Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and everything is LMS Nation. All of our handles are, it's easy to know, is LMS Nation. So you can, again, find us on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. We have we have pretty much everything. We've done podcasts. So that's the best places that you can find information. So if you have questions, you can go there, or you can just reach out to us in the main office. We love to hear from you. So you can call us in the main office, and if we don't know the answer, we'll find out the answer for you. So don't be shy if you have questions. Please reach out to us and give us a call if you need any assistance. All right. All right, I'm going to bring back Mr. Merrill, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about what it means to be a Cardinal and what the Cardinal Code is.
All right, great, Ms. Lasky, thanks for bringing me back on. Yeah, the Cardinal Code is something that I caught on right away when I came into the building, and it's something that isn't just a code that is meant for your time here at the middle school, but these are things that you can take with you to the high school, to college, to adult life, right? Because we all want to be known for someone who is ready, who is respectful, and who is responsible. So we're certainly looking for these things and for you to grow into these characteristics here at the middle school with us and carry them on through. Some of you may already be doing a great job with being ready and prepared for your classes, ready and prepared to learn, to be attentive in class. We're certainly going to look for that here. We certainly want you to be known as someone who's respectful. That's respectful of the staff here. That's respectful of your classmates. It's respectful of yourself also. You want to make sure that you're doing everything you can to make the most of your time when you're in the classroom, when you're here on campus with us. And certainly we're looking for someone who is going to be responsible for your work, responsible with your belongings, with the words and the language that you use. And why we will use part of this Cardinal Code, and if you have to have some conversations with me in my office, if a teacher thinks that maybe you're not living up to this code, we're also going to spend a lot of time and energy trying to catch you doing these things and rewarding you for displaying the Cardinal Code. We have a great positive behavior reward system in place where teachers will hand out star tickets that can be redeemed for prizes or raffles later on at big events that we have. So it's certainly something that we want to have be a positive notion here in our hallways and in the cafeteria, in the gym, in the classrooms. We want you to leave here knowing what it means to be ready, what it means to be respectful, and what it means to be responsible, both as students as well as just human beings in general.
Yeah, so they're going to be seeing that a lot. There'll be we talk about the Cardinal Code all of the time. And so we have high expectations in terms of how people move through this building and how people treat each other. And we want people to treat each other with respect and for kindness. As you saw Ms. Amit's shirt tonight, our Kindness Matters t-shirts, that's what we lead with. We lead with kindness. And so that's an important thing. When you enter here, again, you're representing not only yourself, your family, but the school. And so we want students to understand our expectations. And and then we reward them, right? We have a lot of fun. We give out a lot of prizes, and it's a lot of fun. And we love catching kids doing the right thing all of the time. All right, thanks, Mr. Merrill. We appreciate that. And let's bring up Miss Dr. Pancoast, and we're ready to talk about your curriculum. So let's get to it.
I'm excited. Okay, so I have 4. First is English Language Arts. You can make that bigger, Miss Milowski. Okay, English Language Arts for English 7th and 8th grade. You're going to read some things that maybe you haven't read before. We have a unit on science fiction, fantasy, drama, dystopia, historical fiction, and diverse perspectives. We expect you to read with us in class. We have a global read aloud. We also know that you're independent readers, so we're looking forward to seeing what you choose as well. If you need ASI, you'll have that every other day with your classroom teacher, and you'll get a little extra support. And your teacher will either pre-teach or reteach or just give you some things to build some skills for you. The communications class, we have a link there that Ms. Wolofsky will share with you later, but in 7th grade, we'll work on your interpersonal skills. And in 8th grade, we'll work on some things like public speaking and get you up in front of the classroom. The seminar class will build your nonfiction skills. So you'll learn how to really unlock some of the language used in your science and social studies classes in that class. In 7th grade social studies, you'll be studying American history. We take a thematic approach to that. So one of the themes is like American character and beliefs, growing America. We talk about immigration as well as westward expansion. We have a women and minorities unit in American history. And we tie all of these things to current events. So we expect you to be aware of what is going on in the world when you study the history, American history. In 8th grade, in world history, that will set you up for your 9th grade world history class. So that's the first half of that course as well. World language, in 7th grade, you'll take world language survey. You'll have a trimester of Chinese, a trimester of French, and a trimester of Spanish. You'll have that every other day. In 8th grade, you will select one of those 3 languages. We offer all 3 languages at the high school, and taking it in 8th grade is starting you on your path to getting to an AP class at the high school. For those of you who need English as a second language, we have those classes as well. Our teacher will meet with you once or twice a day, depending on your level of English proficiency.
Thank you so much for sharing. And, I think you hit some major issues in terms of skills. We're really trying to develop student skills, literacy skills, communication skills. We're talking about critical thinking, empathy, really looking at diverse perspectives. And so those are important things. It's not about grades. We're really looking at our students developing skills. And you talked about the communications class and the interview day and how important that piece is, because that part is kids are going to be demonstrating that they've learned the skills, and it's their performance. It's not just, paper to pencil, pencil to paper.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's all application.
I forgot paper to pencil to paper is anymore, because now it's all clicking on a computer.
Yeah, it's all online now, but even those skills are important. And, we're all learning some new skills right now with presentations. So this is my first time doing this, Ms. Milewski, and I'm enjoying it.
Yes, thanks. All right. Thanks so much, Dr. Pankos. And I'm sure people will have some questions for you at the end, and we'll get to those. But next up, we have, let me see who we got. Sorry. We have a combination team. So let's bring up Miss Ament, Miss Burke, and we're also going to bring up Miss Panasowicz. And they're going to talk about the fun stuff. Not that English and social studies and world language is not fun, because it's all fun. But here are some classes that you really can, really learn if this is something that, is your specialty. So let's start with Miss Ament.
Hey, everybody. How are you? So glad to be on here and talk to you guys about the fabulous music program that we have at LMS. And it's a journey on from your already positive LIS experience. So getting involved in the music program, can be in the band, orchestra, or the chorus. In performing arts, you can take in 8th grade. That's more of an acting-based class. That's really, really fun as well. And there's also some extracurricular things that you can get involved in. If you're already at LIS and you're enrolled in band or orchestra, you are automatically going to be enrolled in those classes at LMS. If you are in chorus, Ms. Milewski is going to be sending a link out to all of the families. If you'd like to sign up for chorus, then that's a place that you can sign up for it there. So that'll be a separate link. If you're already in chorus at LIS, you won't automatically be in chorus at LMS. So make sure you check your email for that. If you're somebody who has never played an instrument and you are looking to get involved, that's okay too. Just reach out to Ms. Malofsky and she can let you know the process for that. As you can see, there's a ton of really exciting things that happen. You've got your 2 concerts. You can be part of the Tri-M. There's tons of special events. There's a Hershey Park trip that they do. Also they do a festival every year where they bring in artists in residence, and it's a whole day of just really having a lot of fun within the arts, and that will include all of the related arts as well that day. So make sure you sign up. It's a really fun place to be, and the musical that happens in the winter is also awesome. I hope that some of you got to see Frozen when it was broadcast live. All right.
So, Miss Ament, and everybody can get a sneak peek of what the music program is like and what the arts program is like, as we had a virtual arts festival that is currently going on, and we have that posted on our website. There is a link there that they can go to, and you can really see the amazing work that our music department does, as well as our art department. I'm probably stealing Ms. Panasowicz's thunder on that a little bit, but we like to brag. We also recently, Mrs. Clark's students just were part of a NJMEA, I believe, which is the Music Educators Association website, where our students got to have their pieces showcased there as well. So whatever we can do to put the stuff out there, we're doing, and our kids are phenomenal. So we thank you for your leadership in that area. And we're going to hear from Ms. Panasowicz next. Thanks so much, Ms. Ament.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, Ms.
so
let's talk about art.
let's talk about art. We certainly will talk about art. So we have a very nice art program for you here at the middle school. Miss Richardson, our instructor, does a wonderful job with our kids. She's another one you can be following on Instagram. She brags about our students' artwork, and you can find a lot of that on Instagram. But our program consists of 2D and 3D art perspectives. The Great Art Festival that Miss Molaski has shared with you already. And we display our art throughout our building and at times throughout other buildings within the district, as well as public spaces. And another big thing that Miss Richardson does is she runs an after-school club that helps with preparing for the stage back sets. So for your students that really love the arts and they have a little bit of time in their schedule and they want to participate in that, we make art available to our students every day in a variety of ways. And we're excited to have you come and join our art program here at the middle school.
Sorry, I lost you there for a second.
That's all right.
Thank you so much, Ms. Panasowicz, about talking about our art program. We are, if you cannot tell, we are extremely proud of our art program. I have been so impressed with our students during the time that we've been doing remote learning. The artwork has been phenomenal. The projects that they have come up with have been so good, and our kids are just doing great work. And she has a great Instagram page, Mrs. Richardson, that she puts up with all of that work. And it just, I can't be more proud because they do a great job.
Yes, they do.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Panasowicz.
All right.
We're going to bring up Ms. Burke next. And here she is. Hi.
Hi, everyone. I like to think that I have the best department, the technology department, because my department is infused into all of your departments. So I'm excited to share a little bit about the technology curriculum here at the middle school. Students will be exposed to computer programming methods and language, as well as developing a better understanding of spreadsheets and how to navigate different databases. There are some assignments that are focused on viewing and analyzing and responding to the latest technologies and robotics being developed, and we know that's happening as we speak. Students will also have an opportunity to learn a lot about 3D printing and the importance of three-dimensional design. This is pretty cool. There's a portion of the curriculum that is dedicated to green technologies, and students will have an opportunity to design their own independent greenhouse while applying what they know about biofuels and wind and solar energy. So they'll be able to apply some of those science concepts into that. There is also a robotics unit in both 7th and 8th grade where students will dive deeper into programming and using motions and measurements and different sensors. There is a global awareness project that students experience in 8th grade where they will research a global problem and create a multimedia presentation that includes possible solutions to the problem. And lastly, students will have an opportunity to create digital portfolios, which essentially will be that legacy website that they can reference as they move from one grade to the next. So that's just a little bit about the curriculum. There's a lot more on our website, but thank you.
Thanks so much. And, we were talking about 21st century skills with Dr. Pankos, but your curriculum is all about 21st century skills, not just hands-on, but, when we talk about global awareness and really opening these doors beyond Lawrence Middle School where our kids can really get involved and solve those problems and come up with their own, answers to those questions that are out there. And, our kids, it's pretty interesting. And, creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, all of those things are addressed in all of our curriculums, but really in your area. So thank you so much.
Yep.
Bark, we appreciate it. I'm going to bring back Miss Ament for a second because we did have a question that I thought in the comments, and it was about Triumph Music Honor Society. So Miss Ament, do you want to address that, or I can?
Yeah, so the Triumph Music Honor Society is a program that you can get involved in, and it goes all the way up through the high school level. And, it's a really great leadership opportunity to be a part of that. And as you grow through the program, you can hold offices like president and secretary, kind of like a student council for the music program. They advocate, they have coffee houses, they do all kinds of really, really cool stuff. So it's a great way to get involved.
Yeah, they've done a lot of music nights where the kids are running. They call it, it's not a petting zoo, but it's where kids can really sample instruments, and they've done it for the community. So they're advocating for music. And I think we can really be proud because once again, Ms. Amy, we didn't talk about the fact that we are again top 100 nationally. Yep. Recognized music community.
Yep. And that's 11 years we've received that recognition. So our music teachers, as a former music teacher, they all work hard, and it's really a group effort. It's all of the arts really combined working together. So
yeah. And part of that is also this student leadership piece of it,
Yep.
And so Tri-M really gives our students a say in the program, and they get to be the leaders of it. So we're really proud of them. So thanks so much for sharing that. And thank you for putting that question in the comments. We appreciate a great question. So thanks so much. All right. Thanks, Ms. Ament. All right. This is what you've been waiting for, everybody. You've been waiting to hear about math. And just so you know, we are in the midst of changing some things about math. And I know Ms. Panasowicz will be addressing that with you. So I'm going to let her speak and not me, because she's the expert about math. So hello, Ms. Panasowicz, and let's get to the math conversation.
We will get to that math conversation, but to get to the math conversation, we're going to go through a little bit of a science conversation. So what you see on your screen here is our math and science programs. We have each year your student is here, they're going to take math and science, but we run science a little differently than some of our other subjects. We have a year of life science, and that followed by a year of physical science. So this year, all of our students in grades 7 and 8 are doing physical science. Come the new school year, all of our 7th and 8th grade students will be engaged in our life science curriculum. And then the following year, we'll go back to physical science. So they will get both of these subject matters over the 2 years that they are at Lawrence Middle School. So All of our curriculum, whether it be our math or our science curriculum, are aligned to the New Jersey standards. We have different levels of math, unlike some of our other subjects. So our at-level math course is Math 7, and we have a Math 7 accelerated course. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what goes into that accelerated course throughout my presentation. Kids can move into 8th grade into the at-level Math 8 class, which, by the way, is kind of like algebra that many of us experienced in high school. These standards are extremely rigorous. We also have an Algebra 1 program for our students that have completed Accelerated Math 7. As Dr. Panko said, we have Academic Support Instruction, or ASI, and that runs on the every other day basis. And we also have a unique math course called Math Seminar, one for grade 7 and one for grade 8. These are very important math classes, as we've taken some essential concepts out of our standard math classes and put them in the seminar class, which runs in a semester or a half a year format. And we have had students tell us and tell their high school math teachers that, oh yeah, we did that. We did that in seminar class. So seminar class is meaningful, it has a purpose, and it does make a difference for students as they go through their math career. So my next slide, we're going to talk a little bit more about our science program. So as you may be aware of, we are very big in claim evidence reasoning. So make a claim, look at the data that you have, whether that data be numerical data, graphs, charts, reading, make a statement or a claim, and then use the evidence in your resources to tell us why you've made that claim. We use a lot of project-based learning to drive our instruction as well. We have an online text resource. And again, we like to promote collaboration. We like to promote the use of technology within our rooms. And our science program is really robust. Right now, we have some of our students, depending on which teachers you have, et cetera. We've got a lot of solar oven projects going on. Again, that connection to the real world, and a lot of great things going on. So that's a little bit about our science program. And we're going to dive into math at this point. So because we have levels of math, we need to have some criteria to support placement. And I want to talk to you about these indicators and how I have actually spent some time going through data and adjusting some of our criteria due to the at-home learning situation that we have going on right now. So the first thing you should know is we're going to look at marking periods 1 through 3. We're going to look at student performance when they were face-to-face with our students. And we're looking for a 90% or higher average to move from Math 6 into Math 7 Accelerated. NWEA, our students took in the fall. They would typically take that again they would have taken it by now had we been in school, but we usually have 2 data points for NWEA. So I went back and I looked at our NWEA data for our students sitting in 6th Accelerated, and I looked at their performance. I threw out outliers, extremely high performing students, some students that may have performed a little lower than the rest. And we renormed that score of an 82 percentile. That is a percentile score, meaning that we're looking for students who do 82% or better than the national normed student population. So that is a bit lower than what we've had in the past. We have our New Jersey Parker NJSLA. I need to look at grade 5 on that. We will not be getting grade 6 scores. Typically, we've used grade 6 scores as a second check, but I'm not going to have that data point this year. We have teacher recommendations and administrator recommendations. So I have all of my recommendation process done. I'm in the final phases of looking at that information, and you learn of your math placement via a letter that we send out after school closes that you receive typically very early in July. So you will know that. We also, for those of you, and we understand that you may want to challenge your placement. And in big red right on the top of that, it says challenges assessment available to all students. And I would like to share with you, we've changed that challenge assessment for this year. Usually in March, there's a benchmark assessment given in grade 6 that we use for placement, but we don't have that data. But we will use that assessment that will be amended to include all face-to-face instructional concepts. And that will be the challenge assessment for those of you who would like to challenge your math placement based on the criteria that have been explained to you. So we can go on to our next slide and we can look at what kind of math classes and what does sequencing look like for students at the middle school. So we have the top line, Math 6 to Math 7 to Math 8. I do want to stress the rigors of these curriculum. We'll have some students that'll go to Math 6 to Math 7 Accelerated to Middle School Algebra 1. And then typically students that are in 6 Accelerated right now carry over into Math 7 Accelerated or Accelerated Math 7, and Middle School Algebra. So I want to clear up a little of what's the difference between Math 7 and Math 7 Accelerated, because that's the question that's burning in all of your minds. The best I can share with you is what is a Math 7 Accelerated class. I would say it's probably more of your historical pre-algebra type class. In Math 7 Accelerated, we cover the entire 7th grade model curriculum plus 1/2 of the 8th grade model curriculum. So they're getting 1.5 years of mathematics condensed or compressed into 1 year. 7th grade is the year that the national standards promote and support condensing of a curriculum. So we're doing that in 7th grade. When students go into middle school algebra, they are in fact doing the entire high school algebra curriculum plus the other half of the 8th grade standards that they did not cover in Math 7 Accelerated. Here's another fun fact for you. Students who complete Algebra 1 in the middle school will take the Algebra 1 NJSLA or PARC, whichever you like to associate it with, assessment for algebra, which is a graduation requirement. It is one of the math assessment that the New Jersey Department of Education has mandated as a have to pass with a 750 or above to earn high school graduation status. There are alternative pathways, but our middle school algebra kids are taking that assessment for that graduation criteria. And I wanted to share that with you too. So we'll talk a little bit about, well, I still would like to advance my child's placement. So on our next slide, we're going to look at a couple of pathways and ways to do that. So we typically like to begin advancing placement. We find it to be most appropriate between the summer of 8th grade into 9th grade. And there's ways that you can do that. You can enroll into a geometry and an algebra 2 class at Lawrence High School, or you could choose to do some work over the high school. And the next slide helps me address that a little better. So, you know, there are ways to do that. So let's look beyond Lawrence Middle School and what does it look like? And you can read across the lines, if you're a Math 8 student, what does your 9th, 10th, and 11th grade years potentially look like? Most of all of our classes at the high school run at a college prep or an honors level, and you need 3 years of math to graduate from high school. So we have all of those, and if you look at the blue Math 8, there's an option of students doubling up with geometry and algebra 2 in their 10th grade year, which is perfectly acceptable. We do have some criteria to do that, but it is an option for those of you who may want to get somewhere or get to a particular level. You have your line going across for algebra 1 and what a high school career looks like there. Another consideration for students that complete Algebra 1 in 8th grade is to take that doubling up of geometry and Algebra 2 in that 9th grade year, and how that opens up their sequencing and courses that are available. And here's that summer. We have a lot of families who take advantage of doing summer work. We have historically offered a Geometry 4 advancement at the high school. So some families choose to do summer work in geometry over that summer between 8th and 9th grade. We have outside providers that can provide those services to you. And then they can enter into high school in 9th grade in an Algebra 2 or Algebra 2 honors, and you can see their sequence going across with that. That's a lot. And I know, and as Ms. Milasky said, we'll be posting this. And the last thing I want to talk to you about this evening, and then the math and science show will be over, is the summer math practice work that we have. So we've historically had some summer math work for our students to keep their skills refreshed and up to date. And this year we're using IXL, which your students all have IXL accounts. I've checked with the 6th grade teachers. We're going to push out a little tutorial to refresh their memory on how to use IXL, but they are actively using that. These assignments or these practice work will be placed on the middle school website and on the district website. And we even have availability for help should your student need it. Even though within IXL they get short tutorials, we're going to have someone available to assist students. So right into that assignment, there'll be someone to contact and you can get a schedule for extra help. And just an FYI, if you're watching this, but you also have a student that may be going to the high school or that is in the high school, we also have summer assignments in mathematics and other subjects as well. That's what I have for you tonight so far.
All right. As you said, that was a lot, Mrs.
It's a lot.
For anybody to keep up with. And so we really encourage people that, to just even to sit through there is hard. So we really reach out to Ms. Panasowicz if you have any questions, because you do have to get certain approvals, especially at the high school level, to advance. You can't just advance on your own. So it's really important that if they do have questions to give you a call. And just so everybody also knows, we will be sending out letters regarding math placement. We typically try to do it by the end of June, the first week in July. As Ms. Panasowicz just was telling you about, was that we really are looking through the data. We've worked with Ms. Burke on it as well to look at those 6th grade scores. We've talked to the 6th grade math teachers. So we're really diving into that data to make sure that we are doing those, appropriate placements. However, we know that some students, there's a lot of growth between 6th grade and 7th grade in the summertime. And so if you want to challenge that placement, we have opportunities for you to challenge it. And we just want you to have as much information as possible so that you can make good decisions about your students' academic work when they are here at the middle school. And there's lots of ways, we really work hard, and we've done a really nice job, I think, in terms of our of really making sure kids are placed in the right place. We also, we talked about social emotional and the stress and everything that we've been going through right now. And we want kids to, excel at what they're doing, feel confident in their work. But we also want you to be challenged as well. And sometimes that is a little bit uncomfortable, but not at the sake of your mental health as well. And so math tends to be an area that there tends to be some anxiety. And that's why we know your part of this presentation was probably the longest. But it is important because math is always a question that we have. And it's a concern now, and that's why we always have we always have a summer math. It's been a summer math packet. We've always had a summer math assignment, and we're going to continue doing that. So I know there was a lot of students watching when we first started the presentation. I hope they're still watching, because you're going to have a math assignment over the summer. And again, that will all be in the letter that you're going to get. We also will outline the help that we're going to have for summer, which will be remote. We'll have that online. So if you have questions, again, reach out to Ms. Panasowicz. If you have questions, also, you can put it in the comments and we will come back to it. All right. Thank you,
right.
Ms. Panasowicz. I really appreciate
Thank you.
it. And next up, we're going to be talking about health and PE. So that's me right now. But before I get to health and PE, I did not on the one slide talk about the library. And I apologize. Mrs. Kramer is here. She's our behind the scenes right now, helping us with our slides. And so she is our librarian and she's phenomenal. And Mrs. Coleman is our library assistant. And one of the things you're going to notice about Lawrence Middle School is our kids love to read. And we have a literacy initiative, as you heard Dr. Pankos talk about. Not only are we, we're doing a lot in terms of comprehension and diverse perspectives and putting lots of books out there that they're reading in their classes, but they're doing a lot of things in our library. The library is the hub of our school. So it's a place where kids can go during lunch if they need some quiet space or they want to create something. We have a little maker space. I'm here in the library. We're doing broadcasts in the library. It's just, we can do a lot of things. This summer, my office is in the library. So the library is the hub of this school. And, lots of things that happen. And Mrs. Kramer, who is also our librarian, is our student council advisor too. So lots of meetings happen here, but lots of professional development. There's so much. So you'll hear much more about the library as we move forward. But I have to just put out a shout out for the library. And I know that as sixth graders coming in, you're going to love to read as well. We have our global read alouds. We have family book nights. So we're really looking forward to you becoming part of our family. But let's get to the health and PE curriculum. As you can see here on the screen, health and phys ed curriculum in Health 7. And most of these things are also state mandated, sex education, family life, human body systems, alcohol, tobacco, other drugs, first aid and CPR. In 8th grade, similar topics. And again, first aid, CPR, eating disorders, skin issues. We're talking about harassment, intimidation, and bullying in our health classes. We're talking about transgender. We're talking about sexuality. You name it, we talk about it in our health classes. So, it's a lot of fun. We do a lot of work in health class. And again, a lot in social, emotional, mental health, mindfulness. We've had the luxury of having Miss Romy Toussaint come in and work with our students on mindfulness and ways for relaxation and to be mindful. And she's been fantastic during this remote learning. She's come on to our announcements, our daily announcements. We've had her come on and give us those tips and reminders. So you'll see that in our health and PE program. And like we said at the top of the show, health and PE is every other day. And so they have health one day, PE the next day, and it's all year. So it's a lot of fun. All right, let's bring up Mr. Zander, and he's going to talk to us about the athletic program. And we can go, I believe, to the next slide. And it's all you, Mr. Z.
Thank you, Ms. Middlowski. Hello, everyone again. We hope that many of you are interested in playing a sport at LMS next year. Fantastic coach at the middle school. Really excited for you to be part of their program. But in order to play a sport, there's a few things that you need to take care of. Number one, you need to have a physical on file with the school nurse, and you also have to register online. All this information can be found on our athletic webpage, and it will spell everything out for you. All right, so those are two things that you need to take care of: physical and register online. Playing a sport requires a commitment. The teams practice after school Monday through Friday. Majority of the time it's 3 to 5 p.m. The winter's a little different with basketball. It's after school Monday through Friday. All right. Information about our teams, coaching contacts, all that can be found on the LMS athletic webpage. Okay. The next slide lists the different sports that we offer at the school. In the fall, we have boys and girls soccer. We have 2 teams for both programs: field hockey and cross country. Cross country is a no-cut sport. In the wintertime, we have boys and girls basketball, 2 levels. We also have cheerleading and wrestling. And in the spring, we have boys and girls track, softball, and baseball. So we have a lot to offer. We really hope that you come out and join a program. And like I said, sports is something that is just really good for your mind, your body, and you get to meet a lot of good people. So we're excited for you to come out and be part of our program next year. Any questions? We'll answer them at the end for you.
So, Mr. Z, so one of the things we want to remind students of is that practices usually run, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5. So that's important. And the late bus is at 4 o'clock. So you do need transportation home. And so that's an important piece of it. Games sometimes may run till 6 o'clock. But we do have, as you said, also, you made a good point talking about cross country is a no cut. There is cuts on soccer, usually soccer, girls and boys soccer, baseball, softball, basketball. There are tryouts, and those tryouts usually are 3 to 4 days prior to this season starting. And Mr. Merrill is the person that oversees the athletics here at the middle school with Mr. Zander Ovitz. They work together, with our coaches as well. So it is a time commitment, but it is so worth it, right? It's so worth it. It's, school spirit, representing your school, besides the physical fitness. And as you just said, good for mind and body. It's so important to be involved. And we want kids to be involved. That's the main thing. We want you to be involved in something here and make the most of your opportunities, right? That's the biggest thing. And it's a lot of fun, and you got to just give it a try. And so if we can go to the next slide. Thank you, Mr. Z. Appreciate it. But again, get the physical form. Make sure you register. That's the biggest key. All right.
And any questions, feel free to reach out myself or Miss Brackett, and we'll be happy to walk you through the process.
And Mr. Z, there is an opportunity for them to get physicals here at school, correct?
Correct. We will announce those.
Oh, I think we lost you for a little bit. So you'll announce those dates when they come out of when kids are available. And they usually have one each season.
Correct.
Yeah. And it's important for parents when you're scheduling to think about, because it's for a full year, your physical. So if you're thinking about doing a sport, it doesn't matter what season, make sure you take that paperwork, because it's that full year. And I know for insurance purposes, people, they only get that one physical. And if they already had it, they can still take paperwork to their pediatrician and get that filled out, correct? Yes.
That is correct. Yes.
All right, good. All right. Yep. You're going in and out. All right. Let's see. Next up. So I just was talking about all the great co-curricular activities. So you see here, Mr. Stamatellos with pie on his face. You see our geography bee. You see snow tubing for our 8th graders. You see kids that are at the science convention in DC. You see music and concerts and mindfulness and Minute to Win It. You name it, we have it here. And we have lots of activities. And you can see a list of those activities on the next page. And, one of the things I hope you notice on that opening video of all the things that we have, what the biggest thing is smiles on kids' faces, because they're involved in activities. And so you'll see that we have a student council, we have a yearbook, we have a school store here, we have a science Olympiad, math league, Model UN for 8th graders. We have a homework club after school. We have art club, as you heard Ms. Panasowicz talk about. We do the morning announcements. The daily announcements are the best. And then we have Special Olympics. We have after school workshops. We have a great drama production, play production, acting stage group. And we also have Lawrence Middle School ambassadors. And that's who you'll be hearing from very soon, is you'll be hearing from our ambassadors for our student orientation. So you'll hear it from our students, all of the great things that we do. And so here are some other things, events. We have house relays. You might have heard about that. Lots of competitions here between houses, because we have a House Cup champion at the end of the year. As I said, Minute to Win It. Lots of spirit days. All of you will get a t-shirt at the very beginning of the year for your house. and we expect you to wear it. And all the time. So lots of spirit days. We have career days. We have a 7th grade picnic, snow tubing for our 8th graders. We have family book nights. We have no homework nights. Do you hear that, kids? We have no homework nights. We celebrate not homework. We want you to spend time with your families. We have prize days. We have art festival. We have student versus staff basketball and volleyball games. And the way that you get involved in that is by being in intramurals. So we have an intramural program in the fall, in the winter, in between the winter and spring, and then again in the spring. Hopefully next year we will have these programs. And we have community service opportunities. We have field day. Right now we're in the midst of our virtual field day. We're still going on with the show with that. And we recognize students with Student of the Month. We recognize students every marking period with awards assemblies. You take a lot of pictures here at the middle school all of the time. So, we're coming to the end of our show. The question that was out there is, what is Science Olympiad? And so what our Science Olympiad is, it is a lot of science questions. You compete against other schools. It's actually called Science Bowl, but we compete in a Mercer County, it's actually in New Jersey, competition with other schools. And it's like a trivia game about science. And so it's constant. There's buzzers and you have to buzz in, and there's some strategic moves in terms of making that. So you have to try out to be part of that team, and then you work and you learn a lot about science, and then you go and compete. So lots of fun for that. That was a question that was in the chat, so I appreciate it. And at this time, we will take any questions. If anybody has any questions that they want to put in the comment section, we will pause for a second. And I will show you, I'll just put a little picture up while you're thinking about what question you want to ask. All right, I don't see any questions. I appreciate the last question we got, but I don't see any other questions out there. I'm sure you will have questions. And so, when we release our student orientation, some of those questions may be answered. But again, you can reach out to any of our supervisors that you met tonight. I know that I'm going to bring up very quickly Ms. Deremer, and so she can just talk about what we offer in special education. We have a full gamut of programs. So I don't know what you want to just briefly let them know, Ms. Deremer.
Sure. So anybody who is in the special education world, you will have the same opportunities like you did at LIS. So we offer in-class support. We offer out-of-class resource classrooms. We have a life skills program that we've been starting for some students. So we do run the gamut with all of our supports. Nothing will be changing except for just more fun and excitement at the middle school.
Exactly. Fun, right? It's fun and excitement. It's a lot of fun here. We have to have, that's the one thing that I think was disappointing for me being here, doing it this way. Everybody, I didn't say that many jokes this year. I like to have like a lot of fun and have some jokes, and I didn't think I was that funny, but I am. All right, hold on. Let's go one more. We're gonna, thanks, Mr. Reamer. And there is another question that is in the comment section, and it's about red, white, and tag days. So red and white days, all that means is every other day. So when we were talking about world language being every other day, seminar being every other day, related arts, all your arts and communications, we just put a name to the day. And so the name is red day. So on a red day, you have periods 1 through 7. They look very different than your white day schedule. So that's the red and the white. A tag day schedule, all that means is we're having some kind of special program at the end of the day. And so the periods are shorter. And at the end of the day, we might get together and play a student versus staff basketball game. We might have a special assembly, a special event. That's what that means. And we will go over that with you. It's easy. Do not stress about the schedule. That is something that we will walk you through on learning what the schedule looks like. So that's a really good question that somebody asked out there. So I appreciate it. And we will answer those questions. Not something that the biggest thing is not to stress about anything, right? Because we have a phenomenal staff, as I said to you at the beginning, and we will help you get through everything. And we will baby steps, and everything's going to be new. We don't know what next year's even going to look like. So, all right. And the question out there is, how often are house relays? And house relays usually happen every 6 to 8 weeks. We have house relays, and that's like an indoor field day. It's so fun. It's loud. It's fun. It's cheerful. It's spirited. And we always look forward to that. But it's about every 6 to 8 weeks. We look at when the breaks are, when things are happening, usually on a Friday. Maybe we'll surprise you on a Wednesday. But house relays happen, and they're a lot of fun. So that was another question that was just in the comments. All right, we are going to end the show right now. We're just going to end you with like a little snippet of a picture of a video, and welcome everybody to the nation. We are excited to have you. There's questions, so I don't want to get off yet. I apologize. No, the question is, there is a specific focus for each house? No, each house has every same thing on every house. There is no specific focus on each one. Every house has every single course offered, every single curriculum that you heard tonight. So we didn't have that. We already answered the Tri-M Honor Society. That's a leadership program for our music students. We answered that a little bit earlier in the evening about that. And so we don't have a homeroom. So that's a really good question. So we normally seventh graders would normally report to the gymnasium, but not knowing what next year is going to look like, and if we can put students in large spaces, can't give you the answer to that yet. There is no homeroom period. You are correct. But again, those answers will come, and we got to be okay with not knowing all of the answers. And but we will get to them, and we will give them to you. So in similar shows like this, and also when we do our student orientation as well. We are hoping that we are going to have a live student orientation. Also, we usually do one in August prior to school starting. The building right now we're under a lot of construction. The referendum, we pretty much are getting everything under the referendum. We're getting air conditioning, we're getting new boiler system, we're getting an elevator. We're getting so many things in this building. And so it is the largest project that is happening in the district. We got a new vestibule, we're getting new phones, we're getting new security systems that are going to be in place. And this summer, we are again under construction. The last 2 summers, we have not even been able to be in the building in the summertime. We are hunkered down in the library. We're not allowed to go in any other parts of the building in the summertime, but we are here in the library to answer questions. And we're hoping that, crossing our fingers, that all of the construction will be done in time for school to start. But more importantly, to have an orientation where kids will come in during orientation to try out their locker, go through their schedule. We'll go through everything and talk about what those things are. So if we don't have it physically here because we're not allowed to, we will do something remotely. Don't stress, don't worry. We will walk you through everything and get you prepared. You just have to be ready with a great attitude. That's all you need to bring, a great attitude. Be ready to learn, be ready to be active, to be ready to be part of this community, and be kind. And you're gonna thrive here at the middle school. If you do those things, you're gonna have a good time. All right, now I think I'm gonna end, and I'll leave you with the video. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.